people were getting their visa one touch, one hand. Aladi, you went 3 times. Like, that was probably a sign. And coming here, I landed myself on academic probation. After that, I've still been struggling. But the good thing about this whole thing is just that I've just been growing. Like, looking back, there were things I didn't know, things I couldn't do, but now I do them comfortably. At some point, you might be tempted to compare yourself with other people. It takes people like 2 years to complete their master's program. Why is my own case different? I'm sad, but I'm grateful to God for how far He has brought me. So today I'm going to be explaining to you guys why I am not going to be graduating. Why are we not be graduating? What happened? How I got my work permit and I'm still a student. It's quite complex. Before I get into this video properly, I want to ask a favor. Help me share this video, share with recruiters. If you know somebody who is hiring, I'm available. I've gotten my work permit. I can start work from January 4th, as early as January 4th. So guys, I'm begging you guys, please, I need a job. Please, I really do need a job. Because I have 90 days as an international student. I don't have the luxury. Like, I just have 90 days to be unemployed. And after 90 days, you know the rest. Those of you who are new, I appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by. My name is Akoh. I am doing my master's in computer science and engineering in the United States. I make educational YouTube videos. I mentor international students basically. And what else do? I talk about cultural differences and all that stuff on this channel. I started this master's program for the past 2 years and 3 months now. The master's program in the United States is for a period of about 2 years. Yes, and some people might take more than that or less than that. I fall into the category of people taking more time than usual. I finished my coursework in May 2020 this year. I took 1 class only last semester. That was my last class. Usually they'll tell you how many credits you need to complete a master's degree. So we have those who are in the master's, the thesis program, and those who are in the non-thesis. So thesis meaning you're going to be doing research, and at the end of the day, you're going to present, you're going to defend. I don't know how to make you understand, but you're just going to write a paper. Like, you're going to write your paper and submit it and defend. So that's what I am doing. So I started my research properly fall 2019. That was when I started choosing the topic, getting my committee members and all that stuff. Well, let me just cut here and say that I just want to give a backstory of everything and then tell you why I will not be graduating. I want this story to make sense. I don't just want to talk about why I will not. It wouldn't really make sense if I don't give you like the timeline. So permit me to explain all these things. So I got the committee members. Usually you're supposed to have 3 people on your committee: your advisor, your major professor, a committee member that is from your department, and a committee member that is not from your department. At least 3 people for a master's program. So I got all that fixed. I asked professors for that, and all they accepted to be on my committee, and we started off and we talked about the topic. I picked a topic I was going to work on, and I started doing research to know what areas. Every week I'll report to my advisor. And fast forward to the next semester, which was spring 2020, I started did I start the coding part exactly? I don't know. Since I'm doing computer science, definitely I'm going to be coding and all that stuff. So I started trying to get my data and stuff like that. So COVID struck, and we couldn't go back to school in the middle of the semester. I think we went for spring break and we never came back to campus, and it became so tough that I'm this kind of person. All these online meetings sometimes, I'm not really used to it. So it was like the first time everything in my life had to be virtual. I know some people have taken classes online and all. I've never really done that. So communicating online became a really big problem at that point. What my professor was telling me, what we were trying, he's a very nice person, and if not because that he's nice, I don't think I would have gotten up to this part right now. I probably would have quit or something else. I don't know. At a point I couldn't just understand what all these online things, it wasn't working. I was so frustrated, and I told my advisor, please, can we have an in-person meeting, and so that you can explain some of these things to me. It's just like not entering this. I just want a black, like a board, like a whiteboard, and then explain to me on the whiteboard something. And he was so kind to accept that, and he came and we talked about this thing. He went to the whiteboard and he did all, like, explained everything that I was having difficulties with, which I'm so grateful for. So guys, it's just been difficult. It's just been difficult. I won't lie to you. Like, students struggle. Getting a master's in computer science or a PhD in computer science is not a joke. Especially doing thesis is not a joke. So I'm going to tell you, if you're not passionate about research, please do not opt for the thesis option. Why I opted for the thesis option is because I wanted to get a PhD. So I was like, I just don't want to jump into PhD because it's like 4 years of my life, 4 to 5, 7 years of my life, and I wanted to be sure that this is something I enjoy doing. That was why I chose. If I would have graduated in spring 220, I would have completed the whole thing, because I'm done with my coursework. So I've just done I would have done a project and done get out. But I was like, well, I need to water the ground and know if this is for me. And at this point, immediately I found out that I was so struggling with the whole thing. I wasn't really quite interested as much as I thought I would be. So I decided to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to cancel all the PhD plans that I'm making. So I decided to stop the PhD with all the immigration problem and everything happening in the US. In fact, it was just too much for me to process. I told myself, Aladi, you know what, I'm going to cancel this. I want to get an actual job, work as much as I can and see how good, I might decide maybe 10 years later after working, I might go for a PhD. But definitely, I kind of came to the reality that this is not what I really want to do. I don't want to get a PhD. So guys, if you are thinking of getting a PhD, I would say probably take the thesis part for MS, or even if you're not taking the thesis part, just if you take the non-thesis part, just try to get yourself involved with research, and see if you are enjoying the process or not, and then decide if you really want to or it's not for you, so you don't put yourself in situation that you didn't bargain for. So there was a part of my research I needed to do face segmentation. I don't want to go too technical, but that was not like a major part of my research, so I didn't really have to code that up. My professor and I agree that we don't have to reinvent the wheel. I decided to Google algorithms that I could use, and as well give credit to the author. So I found this good algorithm, and I was trying to implement it or use it. It didn't work out for some reasons, and I sent an email to the author, and he replied saying that he's no longer supporting that, and he's moved on to another one, and he gave me a link. I tried that as well. I tried to use it. It didn't work. For so many things were going on, system requirements. My computer was not even having the capacity to do that. So I decided to also maybe talk to the HOD of the department. I decided to talk to him, telling him about my computer issues, and I would need a computer from the school or something. So he decided to give me his server. Time just kept going, and not a lot was done. I was not working. I was trying my best. The first algorithm we tried failed, and we decided to move on to something else. So blah blah blah. Time just went, and I didn't do everything. I couldn't complete these things, but I was having the hope that, okay, December I should be able to wrap up everything and defend, graduate in December. Typically you have to defend in the month of November, from November 3rd to 17th. I think that's the window where you have to do your defense, because you can't defend in the finals week, I guess. So this is where everything just went south, because as an international student, once you're going to be graduating, you need to decide if you're going to stay in the United States or you're going to go back home. So if you're going to stay, you're going to have what we call the OPT, which is the optional practical training. You're going to do that for a year if you're a STEM student. STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. So if you're a STEM, you're going to do the first 1 year. Everybody gets the first 1 year, and after that you can only renew if you're a STEM person. So I applied. I think it cost about $400 and something. I heard it was going to be increased, so I hurriedly applied in September. And the policy is that you can only apply 90 days to your graduation. Anything, if you're even if it's 91 days left, you cannot apply. You have to wait that it's actually 90 days to your graduation. So I already feel the graduation from, you know, girl is going to graduate in December, you know, that kind of thing. And I was hoping, and I submitted my application. Well, I submitted it because I was going to graduate, right? But to my surprise, my algorithm didn't go as planned. Coding doesn't really go as you plan sometimes. Things could arise, you know, some constraints and all that, so I couldn't. And here came the big deal. I discovered that it was not possible. The deadline was 27th October to submit your draft, this October that just passed. And girl was not ready, because how would you write something that, I mean, introduction, theory, the theory part, like the literature review can be written, and the methods probably, but not completely. The results, how can you draw result, conclusion and all that from something that you have not completed? So it was, unfortunately for me, I knew it was not possible. I had to go to the grad school. I talked to my advisor first of all. We discussed this thing, and you know, we talked about what could be done, like, you know, we just talked, and he was like, well, I'm willing to help to hold the defense during the break. I don't mind. You need to ask your other committee members if they are fine with that. And we're like, yeah, they're fine. I talked to one of them. He said he's fine. I haven't talked to the third person, because at this point I kind of like, I've given up. That's just what I'll say. I went to the grad office, and then I told them, my advisor said he's willing to, you know, hold this defense and blah blah blah. And they were like, okay, these are the options. We can't let you, if you have to graduate in December, then you have to do all this between the time we've given. The hardest deadline, do I say the hard deadline, was November 10. Guys, check your calendar. We've passed that day, and girl didn't submit. I didn't make it. And they gave me, like, we talked, and she told me, the grad coordinator told me that if I want to discuss more options, I could talk to the dean of, you know, the dean and all that. So I scheduled a meeting with the dean of graduate education, and I talked to her and all that. You know, they sent me the options they had available, what they could do and what they could not. I looked at all the options. I feel like the one that was probably more visible was though they said this is case by case, they could not guarantee anything, that if I'm able to reschedule again in this, the rescheduling will start in December, I think December 9 or 8, and if I'm able to defend and they see how far I've done, like they could decide to give me a waiver for next semester, meaning I don't have to register for next semester. And if I'm not able, then I have to be here, I have to register again for next semester. So I decided that this was time to talk to the international office. I went to them as well, and I talked to them, asked them what could be done and what not, and they told me that on the immigration side of things, I mean, being an international student is quite complicated. They told me I would have to, if I'm going to be a student again, I'll have to register for 2 credits. I don't have to register like 9 credits again. And my I-20 got, you know, because I registered for the work permit, my I-20 got shortened, because my I-20 was supposed to expire next year, August. They shortened it to December. Since I'm going to graduate, why do I need to have the student I-20 that would be expiring in, you know, I think, you know, it's just how it is what it is. So, and I was like, cool. And they told me there were some things I probably didn't know before this whole process. They told me, since I was doing the thesis option, if I get a job, then I am allowed to work on that job full time. Guys, I'm begging you, please, if you have anybody in the tech industry that can help me, please share this video with them. I really need to get a job. So guys, a lot of things have been going on. Look at what happened to my computer. This got broken. This is a computer that I just got last year, and I borrowed money to buy this computer, about $2,000. This week has just been messy. I don't know what to say. And now I can't really close this computer, and I can't open it. It's just like this, and it makes me sad. Like, I cried because it's so painful that I haven't paid for it. Like, it's barely a year. This was a brand new computer. It's barely a year. Look at, it's broken. And it's so exhausting because I am trying to look for a job, and if you know, trying to get a software engineering job, you need to be good with data structures and algorithms. And these are things that I don't use every day. I use some of them, some of these data structures day to day, but not all of them. So, and if you're going to be interviewing with a company, it's kind of specific. The data structures and algorithms they probably use in that company is probably more specific to that company. To top it all, yesterday I bumped my Amazon chances. I moved on to the second stage, and after that I took in fact I just bumped it. Like I didn't make it. I got a rejection letter at the end of the day, and I've been practicing coding, like, you know, combining this with my teaching assistant job. Like, I have due dates to meet up with, grading and all this stuff. I'm not complaining, I'm grateful, but these are realities. Like, it's not easy. It's just one person. I literally don't have a life anymore. Every day I just have to, there's something I have to do at every minute. It's not easy combining job search with other jobs. Like, recently I was appointed as a computer science and engineering ambassador for my department, and I have duties that I have to do. If people are coming, they want to see, like, they want to become students in my school, like in my department, I have to take them on a tour, tell them about computer science and engineering, like, you know, tell them about the department, the good side, you know. It's kind of like recruiting people for the department. I have that job to do. I have my research that I'm heavily working on, and I had another job though. I already lost that one because funding got finished, and yeah, it was a coding job. So a lot, and you take all these jobs because you need to survive. The money, you know, the exchange rate is not fine. You can't be asking your parents for money all the time again, especially grad school. Like, you should be paid to go to grad school. Like, your undergrad is fine to depend on your parents, but as a graduate student, I mean, it doesn't really look nice. So guys, so like I've said, I probably have, this video is just like all over the place, but if the way you can help me now is to share this video with somebody, they can help me. Even if they can't help me, their like, their share will go a long way so that people can see this. If you know any recruiter, guys, you know one thing with me, I know C++, I know Python, I know Java, and I know C, but I'm more proficient with C++. So please help me, help your girl. I need to get this job. I have another interview coming up soon. Pray for me. I hope I get this job. If I get it, I'll come here and tell you guys. So I'm open to interviews. I really don't want to, you know, lose everything. Right now I've lost, it's like I've lost the hope of graduating. I've lost hope for that I'm going to graduate. So at least let me get a job to comfort me. I can work. Do you know that my work authorization came in? I got my work authorization. If you're an international student, once you get that work authorization, you have 90 days to get a job. If you don't get a job within 90 days, you'll have become an illegal immigrant and you need to leave the country. So guys, I really want to practice what I've studied. Yeah, I just want like a real job, a software engineering job. I'm open to software engineering job. I'm open to any job that relates to computer science. The point is that, you guys, you know me, I deliver quality. If you employ me, you wouldn't regret it. I would put in all the work to take your company to the next level. So guys, please share this video. Even if I don't graduate, like, I'm authorized to take a full-time job from January. So the good thing you can do for me is help me get a job, because from next semester I won't be a full-time student. I'll just be taking 2 credits at most. And for my degree, I've completed all my coursework, so technically I can work. This is another phase of life which is so exhausting. I know other international students will probably relate to this. It looks like you don't have a life anymore. Everything is just going upside down. One thing for sure, I know I'm gonna get this job. I know I'm gonna get through this. I just know it's going to happen. It will just take a while. I'm so happy that I came here to share what I'm feeling with you all, and I hope you learn 1 or 2 things and just, you know, stay in touch, guys. Bye.